With me here, there's a Raj and Raghu from RecruiterBox. Welcome Raghu, welcome Raj.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Very good.
All right, see the RecruiterBox, what we have understood at this point of time, that it is basically a recruitment application which is specifically designed for the startup and SMBs, am I right?
Correct.
So can you just tell me more about the RecruiterBox, please?
Sure. RecruiterBox, like you just outlined, is a recruitment software made for small companies and SMBs. Traditionally, recruitment software was made for very large companies of like the Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 kind of companies. So we're making this application for very small companies. The way these companies use the software is different, and the price they're able to pay for these software is also different. So RecruiterBox is designed and sold to them.
Okay. And currently they were using email and Excel to manage all the incoming applications. But the companies that are 0 to 300 in size, we are catering them, which is almost 85% of all companies in the world.
All right. So basically, you are saying that your main target audiences and the focus is the SMBs and the startup companies, right?
Correct. Yes.
So how many startups have you already got it till date, and how old is your company?
We've launched RecruiterBox last March. We have about 500 companies using us actively now.
Okay, so you're going to celebrate another first year anniversary in this March, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the USP of the RecruiterBox? Because I can understand there are a couple of other applications also in the market who are probably doing the similar sort of activities. So what is the USP which you feel that yes, this I have got something in my application, in my solution, which none of the other companies having?
The biggest challenge with selling a software like this is that you have to reach a very large number of customers in a remote manner. The very unique point about RecruiterBox is that customers onboard completely remotely. All the companies that I talked about who are using us today haven't spoken to us in order to understand and use RecruiterBox. So in order for a software like this to be successful, you have to be very good at doing this, because our success is when we reach tens of thousands of customers. You can't possibly speak to each one of them and sell to them. The success of this kind of a software is in trying to onboard them remotely and making them pay remotely and showing the value remotely.
So what is the feasibility in terms of technical aspect?
So the main USP we would say is that it's very simple to understand, because if I'm not in front of you and you are just on your computer on recruiterbox.com, if you understand it immediately, you will use it, and if you will use it and it's helpful, you'll pay for it.
Okay.
So I think that is the USP, that we have built the workflow from the technical aspect very simply for anybody to understand, whether it's an IT person, non-IT person, HR person, founder of a company. You can understand just like you understand your email. There's nothing to understand.
And what is the technical feasibility in that terms? Whether it can be incorporated and integrated with any sort of platform, or there is a certain set of technology at this point of time which RecruiterBox is supporting?
So like we said, all the companies which use us today have been using email and Excel. Okay, so for our software to be successful, it's not important for us to integrate with something. It's important for us to move people from email and Excel to here. So to answer your question directly, we help people move from email and Excel to us. So that's the integration we provide. We integrate with email really well.
Okay.
And another technical feasibility is that what happens is, when companies sign up for any software, whether it's online or install, they need some sort of a training. So what we had to figure out is how to provide 4 simple steps which will basically help them do their entire job. So in specific words, create an opening, put it out there, understand how all the resumes will come, and then manage the resumes once they come. So that is what we have figured out.
Okay. Now since, as you said, that's going to become almost a year for you to when you started this, can you explain a couple of challenges what you faced at the time of startup? Probably it could be from any of your competitor who is well established in the market, or a couple of other startups who are already coming up slowly and they're just trying to challenge in the market.
Sure. So there are a lot of challenges like most startups will have. But one of the first challenges was, which we were just talking about, that if we are going to sit in Bangalore and have 500 or 10,000 companies all over the world wanting to use us, then our product has to be very good to be explained in a remote way. And the other biggest challenge which we still face today is that we don't have the marketing war chest. We don't have millions of dollars to do a lot of advertising. So we have to reach a large number of customers in a very smart way and very quickly.
So how many, what is the marketing aspect at this point of time you're trying to, use it?
So currently what's working for us, and we are adopting this even more aggressively going forward, is content. And what I mean by content is that wherever small businesses live, whether they are blogs, websites, magazines, newspapers, etc., online, we try to engage with them. And what I mean by engage is we write blogs on our own website, which we share on Twitter. We guest blog on other small business sites. We respond to threads on LinkedIn and Quora. And while this sounds like very minuscule one-by-one activity, what happens is we relate, because we're having a conversation with a large number of companies, and we relate to them, and subsequently they know that there is an option like this which might be a better fit for me.
So on the technical aspect, if I want to understand, it is integratable with any sort of CMS engine, right? Whether could be a WordPress, it could be Joomla, it could be Drupal, or custom-based CMS. Is it so, or there is any particular sort of restrictions while integrating that you are supporting only so and so technical aspects?
Not really. I mean, if you're talking about CMS as a place where people usually manage their websites, we integrate into all of them.
Okay, so basically you are saying that any of the website, any of the startup, no matter what platform they're using it, they can always integrate the RecruiterBox with their career section.
Yes.
One of the common examples is Google Apps. So we are listed as a Google App product. So people can log in and register on RecruiterBox using Google Apps, because a lot of small companies are already using Google Apps.
Okay. So when you started around, let's say 10 months back, I believe. So at that time, what was the funding capabilities and what you were looking at that time? What made you to think, okay, let's do something, because there is enough space about this particular startup, this particular business model. What made you to think so?
So when we were working in our previous companies, we were kind of pulled into the hiring activities there, and it was a small team. And though we had these big bulky recruitment softwares available, none of us could use it. They required a 1-day, 2-day training session in order for me to even get started with them. So we felt for these small teams, or especially small companies, there is need for a recruitment software, because the number of events, number of people involved in recruitment is pretty high even in a small company. But there is no software available for these people. And that's how we came about starting this.
Okay, fine. You said that there are a couple of good startups who are using your RecruiterBox at this point of time.
Correct.
Just wanted to know how much you feel that next 3 years down the line from now you see yourself.
I think 3 years is a long time. I'll give you a 1-year frame. Within 1 year, I think I want to get to about 1,000 plus companies using my system and paying for me. So
1,000 plus
paying customers.
And currently you already have 500 in box.
No, 500 is the total number of people who would have used me. Only a small portion of that is actually paying me. What I want to get to is 1,000 paying customers, which means $1 million company per annum.
So you mean to say there is a small portion who's paying you? Can I understand that? Is it like there is a free model available,
Yes.
then there is a paid model?
Yes, we have one opening which people can use the system free. After they cross that and want to manage more openings on the system, they have to pay.
Yeah. So the paying customers are also in triple digit, but again, it's a long way to 1,000.
The volumes count.
Yeah.
All right, fine. So another important thing what I have found it, there are a couple of good competitors. I would not suggest the name over here, but yeah, there are a couple of very strong competitors on the global platform, because you just mentioned that you're looking for on the global platform to have 1,000 plus companies who will be using the RecruiterBox. So what do you have your plan to handle those competition? Because being in a startup, the biggest challenge for any of the startup is to cut down their competition, to overcome their challenges, because they have budget, they have funding, they have everything. So any plan for your funding, and if you have a funding plan, how are you going to utilize it?
I don't think we'll ever be killed by a competitor, especially in this market, because the market is very virgin. There are about 2 million companies in US alone who can potentially use a system like ours. But the total number of customers used by all the competitors put together is not greater than 1,000. Okay, so nobody has even, it's not even a drop in an ocean.
So you mean to say there is absolutely no competition, or sort of?
I don't say there is competition, but I don't think we have to worry about the competition. The biggest competitor for us or for our competitors today is email and Excel. We need to move the companies using email and Excel to manage their recruitment into using a software. That's the biggest challenge.
How you're going to educate companies like this?
Again, through content, but just to go back to a previous question, there are actually not a couple, there are 50 recruitment softwares, applicant tracking systems. A lot of them have come online from install, but many of them are designed for very large companies. So a smaller company will neither understand them nor pay for them. Then some others are built for recruiting agencies. That's the most common sort of recruitment software. Again, we are not built for recruitment agencies. On our system, an agency can't manage 10 corporate clients. What we are going after is the 0 to 300 employees specifically, and for that hardly we have seen one or two other softwares in the market, but all the softwares combined, our collective market share is very less, as Raghu was saying, because everybody is using email and Excel. So the point comes down, as you said, to education.
Yes.
So we have to educate these people through content. I mean, we had that MSNBC article, we'll have other articles, and we have to talk about, through stories, we have to talk about how they go about their hiring currently. Also, we are working on a few partnerships. So what happens is a lot of knowledge the HR departments and early employees get from memberships to these organizations, small business groups, HR organizations. So we have to work on partnerships to promote RecruiterBox to these as well.
And any plan in terms of any angel funding or VC in next 12 months or so?
Yes, I think so. Currently, we are building a team with the revenue that we have. Once things are in place, so that I can spend some time outside of managing the platform and the product, I can start going out and looking at getting some funds.
Okay, so there is a very good statement for the VCs and the investors. Right?
So to be honest, just to add to that, we are actually enjoying growing through organic revenue. It's more of a challenge. So
all right, fine. All right, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming. And that was RecruiterBox, www.recruiterbox.com. Thank you, thanks Raghu. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Yeah,
thanks a lot.
Thank you.